2025 first episode podcast. This might be our 25th episode, which would be interesting. 2025 25th episode. Might be the 26th. It's one of them. One of the two.
Yeah. I feel like we've done 100 times more than that.
Yeah, you know what?
Sure.
Time stands still when you're having fun. Time is a flat disc.
Yeah, apparently. All time is simultaneous.
Did you guys have a weird week this week, for like forgetting like what day it was? Because I totally forgot yesterday was Thursday. It's been so odd. Like I had to work some today, but it's still like that weird nether realm of like not knowing what fucking day it is, what I need to do or anything.
Mm-hmm.
I did have to check the calendar on the phone before I went to bed last night. I'm like, oh, I have something today or tomorrow. It was the first time since like a week ago Monday. I'm like, oh, I guess I can't sleep till noon again. Actually, only 10:30.
It's this whole time of year, right? The couple days, a week before Christmas, a week after Christmas. It's all like a haze.
Yeah, well, especially with the Wednesdays, right? You had a Wednesday to Wednesday, which is weird, but because it's Wednesday to Wednesday, it's not like anybody's doing anything the Monday or the Tuesday or the Thursday, the Friday afterwards, because you're almost like, I don't know, let's just wait till it's a nice round.
It's like one long weekend, and you're like, is it Sunday or Saturday? I can't tell, but
yeah,
it's still going.
Every day's a weekend, buddy. Who you
it is a weekend when you're on the first episode podcast. Raking in the big bucks. Well, welcome, guys, to the first episode podcast, what might be our 25th episode of 2025 here. Welcome. Happy New Year. We broke protocol and decided that we were going to review a new show's second season because the show had been so prolific. And because Rico, who of course is the whiniest bitch I know, had wanted to make sure, he said, I'm going to watch it anyway, make my life a little easier, because God knows you need it even better than he has it as a rich man in Cleveland. Rich man in Cleveland is like, I mean, it's like, imagine if you had $75 in Zimbabwe. That's like Rico in Cleveland. He's that type of rich.
Right. It's like
I can't afford a tent in LA, but I could have a mansion in Cleveland. It's wonderful.
You should have your own billboard for lawyering. Like Sweet James has all these horrible billboards up here. You need something called like tastyrico.com. And it's all
I'm going to advertise to the Chinese.
Wouldn't Rico Suave law firm be the way to go?
No, but all in Mandarin. So I'm going to corner that market.
Mandarin, but still targeted towards white people. Literally says, hey, white people, call me in Chinese.
I'm targeting white people who only speak Mandarin.
No, or that go to Chinese restaurants where the restaurant owners recommend legal services. Think about that. He's like, oh, welcome back. You know, saw a good lawyer. You should call him.
I'll have my office in the basement of the Korean takeout place. Like Better Call Saul is in the basement of a Korean nail salon.
Yeah. Right. Well, we watched a Korean show today. It's all coming together.
But I did have a question before we started. Since we hung out 2 weeks ago, did you or someone else punch me in the leg very, very hard?
Since we hung out? Like, did I fly to Cleveland and punch you?
When we hung out.
Or you have like a mystery bruise that you can't.
Yes,
I had a giant bruise on my arm.
I had one on my leg, like the size of a fist. I hadn't seen it, and I got out of the shower. I was like, "What? What is that?"
No, everybody.
It was huge. And there was also 5 or 4 like big knuckle circles marks where a knuckle would be.
Well, that certainly does sound like you got punched in the leg.
It does.
Did you take photographic forensics evidence?
No.
You should. That way you could have kept like lining up people's knuckles with.
I don't know. I was very out of it at the end of the night. You also were out later than I was after the Penn State game, where I fell down twice. So that's where I figured some of the bruising came from.
That was funny.
Here's what happened, right? You know, you get super drunk all the time, and then you wake up the next day with bruises that you don't remember because you're just stumbling around. You must have fallen on a Nittany
knuckle-shaped
Lions
rock?
statue, right? And you fell on the paw of the lion.
Yeah.
And so, do you remember climbing a lion statue at any time?
No, that's on the other end of campus from where we were. We were at the
Okay.
stadium, which is
Yeah,
on
that's
the
I
east.
recall.
The shrine is on the northwest, and then we went to the south part of.
Right.
I think it's south, whatever.
See, and if you
Towards
could
the,
remember all those
bars and the
directions.
spats and everything, all that.
Yeah,
good
you weren't
stuff.
that drunk if you could remember all that. So yeah, maybe somebody punched you. Sleep punching.
Pretty
Yeah,
drunk.
could have been.
Pretty drunk, but it's still able to remember things.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
Weird. It was sort of like a time when I came home from my Thanksgiving break in college, and I had fallen asleep on the couch, and a bunch of people wrote shit on my back, and I forgot about it. And I was like walking to take a shower. My mom's like, "What's on your back?" I'm like,
Oh yeah.
The bathroom was like arrow insert something.
Yes.
here.
Yes. My favorite story. We did that to a friend who got way drunk, started drawing, just penises on his back because he was passed out on the bathroom floor. At some point during the night, he had rolled over and he transferred all the Sharpie penises off of his back onto the linoleum floor. And so for weeks and weeks, we had penises drawn on the floor in the bathroom. So that was always a good story. And, people were like, why are there penises on the floor?
It didn't frighten off the girls at all.
Oh, no, they were like, look at that. They're like, this is where apparently I follow these penises to the best toilet in town.
I think a girl's the one that probably drew the penises. Yeah.
Well, we did
the
one time
line drawings.
Well, this dude Pete, we colored his face, but I mean, 100% green on one side was Sharpie, and 100% black on the other side was Sharpie. Like he looks like somebody had going to a soccer game with green and black, and he didn't know. He wakes up 6 morning. He's like, I'm gonna go to Unimart and get some smokes. And he drove to Unimart and walked. Oh no, I think he walked. He walked down to the Unimart. It's like 7-Eleven, and he walks in completely still covered, half black, half green.
I bet the
all the
people
way
at
back to the
Unimart,
house.
they're probably like, college, whatever. These kids in their face paint. He's probably he's probably in like a medieval play or something.
Braveheart.
Mm-hmm.
I need to go back to college. It's the only moral of the story.
It was fun. The bars are worse, but the girls were better. I'll say that. The girls were they figured out they figured out that you could watch YouTube to figure out how to get your ass in amazing shape, because every single one of them. And that was not the way it was 4 years ago or 2 years ago, even when we went back. I went back with Ben 2 years ago. Not that way. 4 years ago, definitely not that way. So these girls have figured something out. We need to send thank you notes to these YouTubers.
This is the
or
time.
TikTokers.
2025. Yeah.
It's a possibility now.
Yeah, like he goes, hey, maybe I should go to college if I want to look at hot young college-age chicks.
Well, that's a given. Just where is the question?
Rodney Dangerfield it.
Yeah.
I'd say where the chicks are likely to wear
gotta go south, young man.
Yeah, right. That's why where the skirts are a little higher and they're wearing less layers on top, if you know what I'm saying.
Florida's license plate, where the skirts are a little higher and the girls were less on top.
That's right.
Well,
guitar riff
in the Sunshine State.
I think governor campaign.
Yeah,
that's gonna be. I'll unseat Ron DeSantis when I move into my parents' house. That's gonna be my entire campaign.
What a dream come true.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get into the shows here. Do you want to start with Squid Game season 2, episode 1?
Yeah, let's start with
Trailer Park Boys.
We could start with the Squid Game. It was the more higher produced product of the two.
Yeah, slightly more.
But I assume everybody watched the first Squid Games. All of
I mean, for those who didn't, I would think everybody watched it by now.
Oh yeah, it was a world phenomenon.
Yeah.
What
Korean
is the
show.
Venn diagram of people who have not seen Squid Games and who actually watch this podcast?
85%.
Right.
Everybody's like, what is this shit that they're talking
Yeah.
about? Well, just in case for our millions of listeners, it's a Korean show involving a guy that's in debt and this crazy game called the Squid Game, which is taken out of like the shape of a playground thing. And you get to play in this game. And if you fuck up these children's games, they kill you. They shoot you in the head, or they, would do whatever. You're dead. And this guy, spoiler, ends up winning. Now, Jahoon. Isn't it? It is Jahoon. It's just like the other show. Yeah. Just like Jahoon from 90 Day Fiance. Jahoon.
That's one of the 3 names they're allowed to use for characters on TV in Korea.
It's very popular, Jahoon. I bet there's a lot of Jahoons out there now. It's probably like when people named their stupid kids like Cersei Lannister because of Game of Thrones, or like, what's the Dragon Queen's name? Daenerys. Daenerys was like the top name for imbeciles in the United States after Game of Thrones. So maybe Jahoon is like the top boy's name in Korea.
Oh yeah, like the top hipster nerd Korean
like all the
name,
dorks.
Such a hero.
Right.
Yeah.
All the
like deep in debt that manages to luck through these games.
Mm-hmm.
But so I kind of forgot what happened. Well, obviously I knew he won, but I didn't have time for the 3-minute recap because I had exactly an hour and 5 minutes until we started. And when I started, I don't have time for this 3-minute recap. So I was kind of recalling shit as they went on. So there was also a cop who was a central character in this season, or at least this episode. And
it turns out the cop's brother was working for this syndicate running the game.
Oh, he was working for that. I couldn't remember if he was working or he was.
He was like the main black-faced evil guy. Yeah.
Oh, was he? Oh, and he shot.
He shoots his own little brother, and his little brother falls into the water and survives. That's what you find out. He survived, because I don't think you saw him survive at the end of the season.
No, he survived, and he is currently looking to find the island again.
Right.
So his brother. Evil brother must have survived then, right?
Correct.
Evil brother. Yeah, evil brother didn't even seem fazed by the gunshot. Probably because he has some wimpy ass police issued Korean handgun. Doesn't even do damage when it makes contact. But then the brother hits him with, a criminal's gun. And then he flies off the side of the cliff. Apparently, we find out that he was found by that fisherman, and him and the fisherman have.
For some reason, keeps taking him on trips throughout the South Korean Sea.
Yeah. Right.
And also, he's like, do you know how many islands there are? What else? Yeah, it was suspicious because the guy who saved the brother, he's taking him for free around multiple weekends, and then also he's like, do you know how many islands there are in this 10-kilometer area? And I'm like, probably not that much. That's not really a very large area. To be perfectly honest, I feel like if you went out every weekend, you'd find the island this guy fell off. It can't be that small. It's got a big cliff.
Remember,
you know that,
yeah. And you picked him up somewhere around there. Just follow the track.
It seems suspicious. Like, it seems like this guy's just leading him around on a wild goose chase intentionally.
Right. Like maybe he
taking him to the same island, but from the other side.
Right.
Like, it's not it again.
I wouldn't know. I mean, you get all turned around. Maybe he works for the Squid Game and he's like just there to mess with people that fall off the island.
Maybe he doesn't even work for Squid Games. He just likes fucking with people that fall off islands. He's like the Billy Bob Thornton of this show. Just likes fucking with people.
Yeah, it could be. We need that in TV.
Yeah, we do. I enjoy characters like that. I enjoy purely evil characters. And there is a character who in this show who is arguably pure evil. So, this show just came out. I don't know. We probably don't want to spoil the end of this episode since it's brand new. So I'm not going to tell you the very end of it. But the evil guy who gives him the handsome man who initially gives Jahoon, the main character, his invitation and invites him to play in the Squid Game. He is who Jahoon is now trying to hunt down. He's won the show. He has all these billions of won, which is the Korean dollars. And he's paying, and I like this wrinkle, he's paying the mafia guys that Jahoon himself used to owe money to and used to beat the crap out of him in bathrooms. Mm-hmm. He's giving them billions of won to find this guy. And he has him watching every train station because that's where he picks up a lot of these people that are either desperate and in debt and plays this wacky card game. So that pure evil character, he makes a return in this first episode, and with pretty fascinating results that definitely, I will say, hooked me into wanting to watch the next episode, because I wasn't sure. I mean, I was like, I don't even know if they should make a second season of this.
I didn't think they should at the time, but I like how it's going so far. I actually only watched obviously the first episode. But there is kind of like it's not just a rehash or doing it again, which I thought they'd do is like, well, I'm sure they'll get to it where he just has to play the game again, but there's a reason. He's not just playing to play it again, which I thought would be stupid. I did kind of a motivation to do it.
Yeah, I think they did a good job with the second season, at least the first episode, making it interesting, not just the same thing. Introducing, it seemed like, more old characters from the first one than they did. They did a couple new people, right? That they try to show.
They seem like they young people, a couple of degenerates who will be on the
like on the island when they're playing.
His wife is at the OBGYN.
Right.
That
was
okay. Maybe don't ignore that call. Voicemail for you.
Yeah, I don't. I'm not coming, baby.
I'm busy. Stop with the nagging.
Yeah, this is what's gonna be like. I'm at it.
I'm going back in the Squid Game. So, would you guys? Would you think anybody would be that desperate to avoid raising a child that you go back in the Squid Game instead?
I think there'd be plenty of candidates in the US.
If you come out a winner, I mean, then you really have a nice life.
So it's a win-win. You don't have to raise the kid, and you come out super rich. Yeah.
Yeah.
How did your dad die, Jimmy? Squid Game. Oh, mine too.
Squid Game 20. Brought to you by
orphanages.
I wonder if they do each other.
Yeah. It's like the Hunger Games of Korea.
Yeah. By the way, I wanted to share this. I don't know if you guys have seen this yet, but Japan, of course they did, made an actual Squid Game show. Did you see this?
You mean, okay.
Squid Games?
Like they made like
a live action.
A live action Squid Game show. I don't think YouTube will dock me for this. I'm just going to share.
How do they just get shot with like paintballs or something?
Well, you'll see here. I'll play it. Can you hear it?
Yeah.
So we got two Japanese guys lined up. They had to walk across. I didn't even know. So they got the thing with the head that turns around, the creepy girl that turns around. Each one of these guys has a ball gag in his mouth with New Year's Eve,
like noisemakers,
blowing horns. Yeah. And they're walking across something hard. I think it's like they're in their socks walking across hard plastic. So it's making them go, so they walk across it. And they got like a little chick playing the creepy doll. So let's say this is only 3 minutes long. I would 100% watch this show, by the way.
Oh, so they're making all that noise when they're walking.
Now they got to jump across to the next round of ouchie stones. This show's come out yet or not? Oh, the guy made it to the slippers. Oh! So you get
the shin
these
whacking,
and then it just whacks you in the shins with a stick really hard.
That's a good punishment. I thought it
is, and so they can't
get shot with a paintball, but that hurts.
Oh yeah, so they have to stand still and not make a sound as the chick's
motorized stick. That's hilarious.
Let me go back so you get whacked with a stick again. Wait a minute, I want to get back a little farther. Here we go. So, Shinai. The one guy's eyes got so huge. Oh, they're analyzing it for movement. He made it.
Oh, he's on the edge. He's on the edge.
The guy made it. He made it. The weird-looking guy made it. But if you don't make it, you get blasted in the face with spooge. All right, they both made it. I thought there was one where they get face blasted with spooge. Let's see if this chick does.
Another pair turn.
Great translation on this. So this, there is definitely some weird sexual gratification the Japanese are getting just from watching these ball gag people suffer. Oh, and then get shot. You get shot in the face with an air cannon full of what looks like smegma. If you fail,
yeah, it's like an egg gun
directly in the eyes. All right, enough of that.
Miso soup in your face.
Way better than I thought it would.
Yeah, I mean, I would watch that show.
Yeah.
All right, so back to the Squid Game. So Jahoon, with the help of these mobsters, who end up themselves getting caught by the evil man and forced to play a children's game with dramatic results, as well as Russian roulette. Russian roulette, big part of this episode, by the way. Again, I don't want to go into specifics, but big part of the episode, Russian roulette.
Yeah, you'll see it played a couple times.
Rock, paper, scissors -1?
No, that was interesting.
I guess
Describe it so people know what you're saying.
So apparently you do rock, paper, scissors with both hands. So you can throw the same, you can throw different. And then you see what the other person has, and at the same, you take away one of yours. So like you could throw paper and rock, and then you anticipate what the other person's going to take away, and you take away one hand and the other one stays. I didn't get I won't say what I didn't get, because that would
I know what you're gonna say. There's a point where
I think I know it.
One person wins, one person loses.
Yeah.
And the question is whether or not, so you can think about this when you watch it, whether or not I think there's a sacrifice intentionally made, or if it's just bad luck.
I think that, but I didn't understand the one strategy to before that. Like,
the folks will just have to watch it.
Yeah, they'll have to watch and see. We don't want to give too much away on that front, but it's it's interesting. And then we find that that's a similar theme comes back around again. But I mean, overall, it was
very entertaining scenes, I would say. Right? It was not. It was good. It wasn't like watching. It moved well, the storyline, and
a little bit action. Of a backstory about that, which I didn't even know I wanted a backstory about the guy at the subway station. Like, I never really thought, like, what's his backstory? But it was an interesting backstory.
Yeah, it was.
He became a really kind of, and the other shit he was doing, like fucking with people.
The homeless? Oh, yeah, the homeless fuckery was really interesting.
That was, he is a crazy.
We can share that part. We can share that part of the story. I don't think that's spoiling anything.
Yeah, so he offers the homeless like a lottery ticket or a piece of bread, but they can only pick one, and you know which one they're all going to pick. And then he has leftovers of something, and he kind of destroys it in front of them, but he does some crazy dance.
He dumps the entire bag of sandwiches out of the ground. Instead of giving it to him, the sandwiches are still good. Yeah. He could easily have given them out to the homeless, and instead he stomps all of them into oblivion in front of them and calls them all, idiot dirtbags. No good reason. And it's not even like it's part of the game. He's not offering to join the Squid Game. He's just fucking
separate, a way to amuse yourself on a lazy Tuesday afternoon. Anyone could do it. You just go to your local food mart, your gas station, get a plastic wrapped sandwich and a lottery ticket.
I don't know about you, but I mean, doing that with the lottery scratcher is way more fun than winning the $1 that you could win, as he just goes and takes the hope and joy away from people.
True. It's true.
I want another ticket.
Yeah, exactly.
Time for you to go fuck with another homeless.
Yeah. I also like that the scratcher game was just 3 sevens and you win. And everybody's scratching 2 sevens and then kabooyah, you lose.
So if you tried this at a random tent city in Los Angeles,
Oh yeah.
How do you think it would the homeless would react when they didn't win the lottery and you weren't giving them the sandwich?
I don't think you're even gonna get.
I don't think you're getting to person 2.
You're gonna get hit upside the head as soon as they know you have anything that they want.
Exactly. Yep.
There's no negotiating a game with
you're stabbed. I'm taking all 100 tickets and 100
and the sandwiches.
Yeah, you're getting mobbed. Right. Exactly.
Yeah, instantaneously.
Screens are different. They're more civilized homeless.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah. The Korean homeless people are very docile and friendly.
Well, it's more alcohol, less drugs. That's probably why. Less crack. I think the crack makes you crazy. The alcohol, you're probably just like, hey, buddy.
I was tired all the time and a little loopy.
All right. Well, what else? Anything else to add? We can't give away too much of the plot.
I think I would recommend it. I would say that. I thought
it was the other thing is without putting too much of a spoiler on it, Jahoon at one point is pulled over speeding, and the cop who kind of pulls him over is the cop who fell into the ocean, but he doesn't initiate the kind of, hey, you were speeding. He's telling a rookie to do it. Yeah. And then the rookie tells him what happens, and this guy's suspicious. So their paths are going to cross again. Obviously, they don't in this episode, but you can see it. They're going to, get on the same wavelength, or paths are going to cross, and because they're both kind of pursuing the same thing.
Right, I think they're going to eventually team up and try to take down the Squid Game.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to remember in the first season if the brother cop ever infiltrated. Didn't he infiltrate at some point and was pretending to be a worker, right?
Yeah, I think he's got like a disguise on at some point.
Yeah, I think he was one of the masked people.
Right. Yeah, he was one of the masked people.
So what to do.
He's also. I'm guessing that guy's going to end up playing the game somehow, being able to get in and play it this time. But we'll see, because I don't know if his brother would allow that, who works for the Squid Game. But yeah, it's definitely interesting. I'll keep watching.
One other side news from this episode at the beginning, it kind of ends where the first season, or begins where the first season ends, with Jahoon at the airport. He's supposed to get on the plane, get out of the country, take his.
Why does he have bright fucking pink hair?
I don't remember that either.
I didn't remember that.
But he figures out they're tracking him, so he goes into the bathroom at the airport, finds a tracker behind his ear in his neck. Has a scalpel for some reason. I guess
he bought like X-Acto knife.
Yeah, he bought like not as finicky in Korea as they would be here.
He buys that at the airport.
Would you there's these big veins in your neck, right?
Thank you, Rico.
I don't want to cut them, because if you cut them, they're big. You bleed a lot. Probably not.
Dude, I thought of making that exact same note. And I was like, I don't know, maybe I won't. But I thought the same thing. If I find a tracker behind my ear, I'll have somebody else cut it for me. I'm not going to fuck with that.
Cut it too far. You cut everything too far. Like wrapping paper. I cut it too far. But it's not your neck with a jugular there.
He was totally nude in the bathroom, and there was a funny spot where he's cutting himself, and he's bleeding down his neck, and this little chunky kid walks in. And he's like, I'm gonna need a couple minutes, kid. And the kid's like, all right. Then it cuts to his bare ass because he's just standing there bloody naked in the mirror.
Right. I was like, what this scene is
all the time.
Yeah.
Right.
The Korean Nambla is exceptionally popular.
It's not uncommon to walk into a bathroom in Korea and just see a naked, bloody man. Says ninjas and samurai running around.
Naked Bloody Man is Korea's #1 show, actually.
In the bathroom.
Well, what do you grade this episode?
I'll give it. Go ahead.
I gave it an A. I liked it. I'm sucked in. I liked the first season. I didn't have really high expectations for season 2, but obviously I was going to watch it anyways. And I thought it was cleverly done and intriguing. It sucked me in.
Yeah, I'll also give it the A grade. I was expecting it to be just kind of a repeat of the first season, maybe some new games or new people. But I thought it was an interesting way that they picked it up right where it left off, and then got the characters kind of doing separate things that were both interesting. And I'm absolutely going to watch the next episode for sure.
I'm going to go A-. I thought it was good, but it could have been a little bit better, I think. I don't know. It's like when it ended and not giving away. I was like, I don't know. And I was kind of back to step zero here. But yeah, it was definitely awesome. I'll continue to watch it. Hopefully it doesn't let me down.
Right.
All right, moving on.
That ending, it ended in a way I was not expecting.
Yes.
So, yeah, so that was kind of cool.
Which is a good thing.
Ending.
Yeah,
even
I like that.
Minutes before the end of the show, I was not thinking it would end like that.
No, so that's just episode 1. So hopefully from here they just keep bringing in, making it good. Right.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Good cliffhanger for the people who haven't seen yet. All right, moving on. So we're going to talk about another foreign show, but this one from Canada, the Great White North.
Yeah. Our friends from down under.
I didn't know this was a Canadian show until I started watching it.
Yeah. I just got out.
There's Canadian white trash too. I
know.
Yeah.
It actually makes it better to me that it's Canadian white trash. Like it makes it more entertaining.
A nice trash. They're like just pleasant. They don't seem like I'm like, oh, it's a nice community. I live there, even with all their.
So it's the one and the only Trailer Park Boys, which has become a cult classic. It's got movies. It's got a massive following. And we watched the first episode. I will say it's grainy. The production values, it's definitely old school. It was shot for smaller televisions, probably on like a VHS camera. And you could definitely tell that it's not film. But still, it's watchable. You can get through it. And the characters are pretty damn funny. Yeah, the characters are pretty damn funny. It takes place. So these guys get out of jail.
No, Julian. Hold on. Before you get to there, I was watching the beginning on my phone, and I think they're explaining why they were in jail in the first place. 18 months. I couldn't really tell. Were they,
they're like firing on somebody with a dog.
They were trying to dog nap, I believe, and ended up getting in a pistol fight with somebody who trying to steal a dog. Which I don't know how you only get 18 months in prison for that, especially in Canada.
In public.
Yeah, I don't understand how you get 18 months on that.
There's no way you're only getting. But hey, you got to suspend a little bit of disbelief.
Of belief, eh? So they get let out of prison. They both blame each other, this guy Ricky and Julian, for getting arrested in the first place. Well, they come out and you figure out that Julian is kind of the alpha. Ricky's kind of the doofus of the group. And then there's also this third character. Well, there's I guess 5 main characters here. Julian, the alpha male of the trailer park. Ricky, the fuck up of the trailer park, who's got Elvis hair and a goatee and is just a complete dipshit. Then there's Bubbles, who is my favorite, who is, I don't know, special needs is, I guess, what you have to say about Bubbles now. He's got these thick, goggle glasses.
I think that's why they call him Bubbles, because of his eyes. Yeah, it's just how he's from Canada. It's he's from
that's just the way most Canadians talk.
It's how Yogi Bear talks.
It reminds me of when the Simpsons moved to actually it might have been the same episode we were talking about, where they moved to the wonderful town, the idyllic town for the supervillain, and Bart gets put into a different class. And there's a kid that's like, here, everybody take out a circle of paper. Yeah, and then one kid's like, they put me in here because they think I'm slow, but I'm just from Canada.
That is true. They do say that.
So Bubbles is that kid.
Yeah.
And Bubbles lives in a shack, by the way. He lives in a metal shack with a toilet in it, and he fixes shopping carts for money. To feed cats.
It's a big booming business. I've tried to get into it, but the shopping cart mafia just
crack down on you every time.
I was like, I don't need any trouble.
Brutal. Mm-hmm. They beat you with the shopping cart if you try to get into it. They take your head and they take those little flaps that the kids put their legs through. And they just smack you on top of the head over and over again until you say no more.
That's why 75% of homeless people are homeless. Is because they get indebted to the shopping cart mafia. They you get some of the carts you have to put in a credit card, and they charge you like $1 a day, and you don't get it back until you return it. And it's once you're in debt, can't get out of it. You know,
That's when you get
it's a
Jahood.
cycle. Yep. Trying to end that. End the war on shopping carts.
Probably. Yeah. Only free shopping carts from now on.
Exactly. Yeah. So anyway, so these guys get let out. They go back to the trailer park. Julian tells Ricky he's done with him and goes to move into his home, his trailer home, and finds that there's this new dingleberry in town named Cyrus who's flashing a gun around and being a tough guy and is now running the trailer park. But there was a funny line on Julian's way back to the trailer park because he goes, you know, what's great about getting out of prison is coming home. And then he looks out the window of the taxi and he's like, ooh, she's gotten bigger.
Yeah, she's gotten bigger. That was one of the few jokes that were available.
Yeah.
Not so many jokes.
Not too many jokes in the first episode.
So there was one also right after that where he goes, I think he sees Ricky's daughter and
Trinity
young, and Ricky's daughter's like, are you going to come over and visit mama?
Yeah.
Like, I think that was implying something was going on. Maybe I was just reading into that, but.
Or that, like, if the daughter can't tell the difference.
No, I think there's a whole thing where Trinity might really be Julian's kid because they kind of talked about how they hooked up at one point in the past, but then he doesn't think anything happened. They were on mushrooms. Yeah, it's a trailer park. And but Ricky's in love with this other chick. I forget her name, the blonde. So I think there's a secretive that's really his kid thing going on. I can't remember because I have watched this series before, at least a few episodes, and it gets better. I'll say that. I forgot how bad the pilot was because the pilot's not great. The pilot's not great.
You know, I was entertained by it.
It's entertaining, but not. It's not something. If I didn't know it got better, that I think I would necessarily have watched. If people didn't tell me it was good and to like stick with it, I probably would not keep watching it. But I did watch 3 episodes tonight because I know it gets better, and it does get better almost immediately from episode even 2 to 3. In episode 3, Ricky's going to be in a porno. It's going to be great. It's called From Russia with Bones or something. So
From Russia with Boners.
Yeah.
Also, the Julian character, right? Or not Julian, Cyrus.
Yeah, the new tough villain. Guy, the new tough greaser.
I like that guy cruising around in his Stingray Corvette. It's badass.
He doesn't hesitate to tell everyone within 2 sentences of talking to them, I got a gun.
Yeah. I got a gun.
Shoot you.
That's right. I'm cool. I'm Cyrus. I got a gun. My old man this gun.
Like, Dad gave me this.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, just a little character thing about Julian, the main alpha character, who Julian always wears the same thing. He always wears a black shirt and jeans, a black t-shirt and jeans, and he always is carrying around a rum and coke. It's one of the funnier things because he's always has it in his hand in every scene at all times, and it's constantly getting spilled, and he's constantly dropping it and filling it back up, and Ricky's banging into it, and he's getting pissed off at him. It's a funny little foible that he constantly has this stupid rum and coke in his hand. Just like there's a Mr. Leahy who runs, kind of maintains the trailer park. He's kind of like the manager. Has his
Mr. Roper of the
idiot
trailer
son.
Park.
He is like Mr. Roper of the trailer park. But he's got this. I think it's his son, his idiot son.
They don't make it.
Never
seem
wears
like
a shirt.
That is hilarious.
Yeah, I was wondering what's up with
his shirt on.
Is it supposed to be hot or something?
He's a hillbilly. He doesn't wear a shirt.
You can see their breath sometimes. It's cold. Yeah, it's a big fat guy with no shirt on.
Goes into the grocery store, no shirt, no problem. So this guy.
I see them here, but they're like kids, right? Just like the kids, they walk around with no shirts on half the time because
on my neighborhood they don't.
No,
we're cool here. Yeah. So Cyrus moves into Julian's house, which apparently these other 2 dipshits were supposed to be watching. So Julian comes in. He's like, all right, this isn't going to stand. He made it into a shithole, kicks them out. And then, of course, he tells Ray, look, I'm going to end this Cyrus problem. We're going to kick him on out of here. And that comes to a head. And, of course, the trailer park's behind him because Cyrus is an asshole. He's not running He's not running things like Julian. He was the peacekeeper. He was the law in that trailer park. But Julian's a nice guy at heart, even though he's a criminal.
Yeah, he's fair.
He's a fair criminal, yeah. He keeps the peace. So a showdown has to ensue, but not before. I think this happened. At least I think this is a sequence, right? Not before one of the funnier scenes came when Ricky is told that he can live in Julian's car, and Julian's giving him shit. And then he finally goes out and he goes, "All right, you can go ahead. You can sleep in the car. Here's some hot dogs and some vodka. You can sleep in the car for 2 days. Here's a blanket and cold hot dogs." And a bottle of warm vodka. And Ricky's like, "Oh, thank you so much, man. Thank you so much for this."
There he goes.
Sits in the car, just drinking the vodka and eat the hot dogs.
Because I need a place to stay. And then he goes, "No." And then he just sleeps on his porch. And he comes out there and he goes, "You can sleep in the car for 2 days." And then he goes, "Here's some vodka and some hot dogs." He goes,
"Yeah.
I don't want your charity."
Yeah.
I don't want your charity. All he's doing is looking for charity from everybody.
Yeah.
I don't want your charity.
Well, that just at the end of that exchange, it's like 2 days, you're out of there.
Yeah.
I'll be gone in no more than 2 weeks.
Yeah, 2 weeks.
It's like Randy Quaid and National Lampoon. I also love that these like you can sleep in my car. The car is it's missing a door. It's got windows that don't roll up. It's missing an entire door on the right side. It doesn't move.
Car
it just
doesn't
sits
run.
There.
No, that's like
run.
a bedroom in a trailer park.
Spare bedroom.
Yeah,
exactly. It's a guest house. It's the ADU.
There was another one I thought was funny. Ricky was talking about something like he was given a list of reasons about whatever. He's like, number one, he goes, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, number two or number three, I don't remember which one.
Whatever we were on.
Yeah, whatever number it is.
one thing.
Probably also talk about getting out of jail.
Yeah.
That was early on, yeah.
So the showdown comes to fruition. The whole town's around. The whole trailer park rallies around to see what Cyrus is up to after Cyrus is driven around threatening people with the gun. And Julian makes him look like a little bitch. Yeah. He tells him, "Go ahead, try to take a shot." Julian dumps all the crap out of the bedroom. He breaks his TV and his VCR. And then there was a funny line from Cyrus. He goes, "I want you a new TV. I want a new VCR. And I want porno tapes replaced because those were primo."
Yeah, premium porno. None of that
premium porn.
Crap porn.
And then Julian tells him to shoot him in the head if he wants. Puts the gun in his head. Cyrus pussies out, and Julian takes the gun from him and tells him to get the hell out of Dodge. And he becomes, once again, the king of the trailer park.
Yeah. He's the trailer park boy once again. Yeah. And there you go.
Episode. 20 minutes.
Yeah, it was very quick. I like
short.
that about it. And yeah, maybe it does. I imagine it can't get any worse because there was a lot of lulls. Like I felt like they were putting way too much camera time on some of the other people that live in the trailer. Like that one dude with the Adidas. The upside down visor hat. Guys are trying to, paint the whole
build the world,
vibe.
But it was a little too much world building.
But those guys, they just look so goofy and fake almost.
Well, it's also, I think, a different, like, we're used to shows that have more, I guess, jokes per minute, JPMs. And Trailer Park Boys, in this, at least in the pilot, did not have many jokes per minute. It's more just like, okay, you're seeing the world get built, the kind of the novelty of it, and you're like, all right, well, that's kind of funny. It's almost like they're building it out where you can see what could be funny or what can be funny upcoming in this world, but there's not a lot to deliver on in that first episode that specifically you could be like, oh, that was a funny joke or line. It's just kind of like circumstantially funny.
It is. It's also the same format of The Office, the documentary kind of follow around. And that's a tough, format to do because there's great shows like Parks and Rec. And
when was this show made, though? This is
2018, I think, is when I saw.
Really? I could have sworn
There's
this was
no way the
20 years ago.
Not with that shitty camera. No, 2001. It ended in 2018. Then they started making.
Maybe that's when the movie was.
Oh, yeah. Or they went on a tour in 2018.
So this is before The Office.
Oh, is it before the?
Yeah, April of 2001. I was a junior in college.
Yeah.
That's how long ago this was.
That is crazy.
This is really old.
The American Office was 2005.
Way before
UK,
Parks and Rec
was.
Maybe this like format inspired
also
it.
2001. Well, 2001 was The Office as well. So these two, I mean, the Brits and the Canadians, you know, they shared the same queen. So maybe there was some overlap.
Yeah, I guess everybody was like really into making documentary style sitcoms. The memo is out.
Well, in Canada, the government, just like in the UK, the government funds a lot of their television programming.
Yeah,
a lot of the arts funded by the government. Yeah, which is kind of interesting. They make this show. I don't know who made this show specifically. Let me look that up and see if it was.
Maybe it was when that Toronto governor was, or that Toronto mayor was around smoking crack. And he funded it.
They slipped it in on him on a crack.
Like, let's make a show about trailer parks. It's gonna be amazing, and he was right.
As long as it's cracking it, I'm cool.
Hold on, wait. Did the guy that created the show? Wait a minute. Is the guy that created the show also Bubbles? Because that'd be hilarious.
That wouldn't surprise me.
I have to look at it. I'm not sure. Mike Clattenburg created it. Everybody wants Trailer Park Boys. Let's see. But no, Mike Smith is Bubbles. Sadly enough, it's not the creator, because that would have been too good.
What a shame.
Well, I mean, as I said though, even though I don't think the pilot was incredible, it did enough. Like, I would give the pilot probably a B or a C plus, but it did enough to make me want to watch more. And as I said, which I have done, which I did tonight just to see, and immediately I was like, this is fucking funny. Like, it just keeps getting funnier.
Yeah, I didn't mind it at all. I thought it was amusing. Wouldn't say it's my favorite show ever, but I thought the pilot was decent enough, held up okay. Just the concept is funny. I don't know that there's another documentary about kind of the lower levels of society. It doesn't seem to be
especially not Canadian lower levels. They pretend they don't exist.
I would like to actually make a documentary about low-level Canadian society. I think it would be fun. We should do that.
There you go. Well,
our next
somebody has.
Wow.
How many seasons does it go for?
It ran to 2018.
It's at 105 episodes, so they must have taken a lot of gaps between seasons.
Yeah. Well, also, who knows? It might be a weird, like Peep Show had like six episodes. Like British shows are like 6-episode seasons, so
right.
They could go on a hell of a lot longer than ours do because they space them out so much, and they're less episodes.
Right. I mean, well, my grade, I would say for that episode, I'd definitely give it a C. I hear what you're saying. It gets better, but it was maybe just because it was so old. It just moved so slowly, and not as many jokes as you would expect. But keep it in mind that it is so old, and that's probably why I gave it a C, just because it's. But yeah, I don't know that I'm going to watch more of it. I thought the characters were kind of dumb, not interesting.
All right, well.
They remind me of myself. I'm like, I don't need to watch a show about myself if I was Canadian.
I give it a B minus. Like I said, I was amused by it. I thought the characters were interesting. The concept was interesting, fairly unique. So
there it is.
Here we go.
What about you, Brian?
All right. Well, what do you want to do for next show? Because I want to do we're going to do the Norm Macdonald show, which I still want to do for our old episode. That's on YouTube, as we established, for free. So I want to watch the Norm Macdonald show for the old show, and then Penny, our good friend and fan, Penny has suggested we watch.
Fan? Hi, Penny.
Yeah, still a fan. She's back.
Liked us.
She's back. She suggested we watch The Bookie on HBO /Max.
I've seen that.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, I've seen the art, right? Because I'm on HBO Max app, and there's like a picture of a dude with a punched in eye, and then it's called The Bookie. So you think, it's going to be good. It's probably got some mobster stuff, some gambling, some punch you up in the face.
Hurley from Lost.
Well,
Hey,
wow.
George
Good to
Garcia,
know he's
welcome
still
back.
alive. I figured he would have died from fat. It's not.
Nope.
Wow.
There's
Well, you wanna do
always room for So the Norm is our old show. Watchable.
So
And
the bookie actually is in its second season now. So
it is? No, it says new series streaming November 30th.
Well, they've had
maybe
most recent episode was yesterday, season 2, episode 4.
Well, never mind. We can't do that show then, unless we'll have to do it as an older show. So sorry, Penny. You should have sent me one.
Clearly not a fan. Doesn't even know the rules.
Although we
come lately.
Well, we could make the exception for 2025, where we could watch episode 1, season 2.
I can't watch episode 2.
No. We have to get back. We have to get back to our roots here. It can only be first episodes. What about? Let's see. The Riders of Rohim. That's the one we were gonna do. That's that Lord of the Rings show.
Tolkien show? Oh,
yeah, it's a Tolkien animated Tolkien show about a girl boss who rides horses around. So that should be entertaining. Or terrible.
It sounds kind of like could be that new Alien or Predator thing where they made it chick the hero. And
that was awful. We watched that together. Prey. It was fucking retardedly bad. It was so stupid and so unbelievably dumb. And so just unbelievable in every way that this chick's fighting a giant monster and succeeding. Not like an alien or aliens, which I love. But again, Ripley had the assistance of, let's say, giant metal things, guns. This chick was like bow and arrows. It was a chick with a bow and arrow fighting a fucking predator and somehow winning.
Is it like from the old days or something? Like, is that the
premise? She was like an American Indian.
Yeah. Oh, yes. It's from the old days.
Oh, so it's like when the predators first came to
Jesse Ventura couldn't kill the predator, but you can.
Very, very stupid.
All right. Well, the indigenous people have power.
Yeah.
All right. So let's do Riders of Rohim. That's an Amazon show. And the Norm Macdonald show. That's what we're doing 2 weeks from now. Don't miss it.
The Norm of Rohim. Sounds good.
Norms. Riders on the Norm.
Riders on the Norm. Not bad.
Riders on the Norm. That's what we're going to call the episode. Riders on the Norm. All right. Goodbye. Oh, no. What am I doing? Something's happening. All right. Goodbye.
Bravo!
I loved that.
Oh, it was great.
Well, it was pretty good.
Well, it wasn't bad.
Well, there were parts of it that weren't very good, though.
It could have been a lot better.
I didn't really like it.
It was pretty terrible.
It was bad.
It was awful.
It was terrible.
Get him away!
Hey, boo!
Boo!